like you talk about the role of the coach that you play is so important. When you were the CEO of Cisco or previous roles before that, when you were looking for a coach or a mentor, how did you find those people and how did you engage with them?
Well, I've been crowdsourcing since I went to college. I listen all the time and then I connect the dots, and that's my skill in life, in part maybe because I'm dyslexic. I can't go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. It just kills me. But I can go 3 data points and then understand the potential implications and then jump to it and see how do you play it out. And so I listen to people all the time, and it doesn't matter if it's the doorman at a hotel or at a local restaurant. I love to talk to the waiters about how's business and what's their personal interests, or how many is their revenues going up or down, and what are the challenges they face. But by gathering data from sources all the time, suddenly you're able to identify patterns that other people don't see. And then you're able to say, here's what's possible that you can come away with. And so that's something that I put into my skills bracket and something that I am constantly learning. I will often ask a person that I meet that I find fascinating. It can be a Fred Baker, who is a fellow at Cisco. Definition of a fellow is a world-class engineer. We have probably less than 20 of them who can also create $1 billion in revenue for us, and who really can be seen within the industry as a world-class engineer. Fred would teach me certain topics, and I did that regularly with the Dave Wards and others, even though they weren't, quote, the head of engineering or even the senior VP over top of segments of it. But I'd find people that I could learn from, and then I'd constantly do that. And the way I would usually interface to them is say, let's meet one time, but you have to teach me a topic. We'll cover what you want, but I want you to teach me a topic. And if it went well, then I'd have a second meeting. Or with a government leader or a company leader. Lou Platt's the example I use in the book. I came out to Silicon Valley. I'd managed 10,000 people at Wang. I was managing 400 people here, and people were getting me confused with the food company, Cisco, at that time. And I said, Lou, you don't know me, but could I just come over and meet with you? And interestingly enough, the way I got to Lou was through his executive assistant, Olive, who knew how to open the door. She trusted me when I talked to her on the phone, and then got me the first meeting with Lou. And I didn't ask for him to be a mentor or have a bunch of meetings with me. I said, I'm in the Valley. Can you help me tell me mistakes I'm going to make? Why was HP so good in the Valley? What worked for you? What did not? And we had a great session, and I was really well prepared for it, although the comments appeared spontaneous. But I knew all my questions I was going to ask ahead of time. Session went well, and I said, can I come back next quarter and do the same thing? He said, yeah. We did it for 3 years. And by the 3rd year, he was bringing part of his team, I was bringing part of my team, and we really were learning how to scale. And then Cisco was on a roll, and I said, let me pay back to HP. What can I do to help you? And he said, just do it for the next generation. So I spent a lot of time coaching young CEOs, who some of them aren't as young anymore. Keith Crotch, DocuSign, Ariba, and then John Donahue out of PayPal, and then currently ServiceNow. And I do that on a regular basis. But the way you engage it is find somebody you match with, then ask them for advice, do it one step at a time, and then maybe if it starts to work after about a year, saying, do you mind if I come back to you and ask periodically? And I do that even with some very high level people, such as Shimon Peres or President Clinton or President Bush or others.
That's, I think all of us here, that's a constant, a constant need. We're always looking for people, especially as entrepreneurs, who can help be that sounding board. And I think it's a very, very helpful sharing from your life.
I think it's especially important given that in today's world, you're probably going to stay private or a longer period of time before you get bought than the startups before. Remember, Cisco went public at 70 million in sales. The majority of my 16 startups are over 70 million, and yet only one of them is going public. And so what happens is the VC world is not usually, and it looks like you all got some exceptions to it in a very positive way, operationally as strong. And so there's a void occurring for how do you get operational advice that is a transition you would normally get either when you got bought or when you went public, and how your board would evolve and your advisors evolve. And so it's one of the things I would encourage you is think about not just how do you determine the product marketing and the strategy, but how do you get advisors that will help you scale over a longer period of time than most people thought we would need to. I looked at the other day on the successful IPOs this last year and over the last decade. Most of them had been in existence for over a decade before. And so that's a different type of evolution than we used to see. I'm not sure it's good, by the way, but you deal with the world the way it is, and knowing that's going to occur, then you're going to have to find advisors that you would have normally naturally migrated to as you went IPO or as you went into being acquired that you won't have otherwise.